Hello, beautiful souls. Some years ago, I made an interview from Geshe Michael, who was a monk for many years in Tibet, and then he went to New York and created a multimillionaire business. It's worth to see this interview because it will connect you with your inner being. Shine bright. This is Michael, and I would like to welcome you in a few days here in Greece. I would like first of all to introduce yourself, to tell us a few things about you.
Oh, okay. I grew up in the United States, not very, pretty poor family. And then I was fortunate to go to Princeton University. And then during that time, my mom got very sick with cancer, and I went to India because I was very upset about it. And I met the Tibetan people there, including the Dalai Lama. And I started to study there, and I entered a Buddhist monastery, a Tibetan monastery, and I stayed there for 25 years. And then I took the examination there, which is called the Geshe examination. And I finished it. And then they told me, well, you have a second examination because you are the first foreigner in 600 years in our monastery. So we would like you to go to New York City, and we want you to use the principles of karma and meditation to make a company and try to reach $1 million in 1 year. And we will give the money to the refugees. And so I started a company in New York, and now that company reached $250 million per year. And in 2009, it was bought by Warren Buffett. And then people around the world are asking me, how do you do this thing of using spiritual path and using karma to make a good living and to help other people with this money? So for 28 years now, we are helping the Tibetan refugees to save their ancient books. And we use all the money to do that. And the books are put online for free, and we are translating them. So now I have a company called Diamond Cutter Institute, and we go to about 35 countries every year. And we help people to see that how to make money, to support your family, to send your kids to college, to have a spiritual life. It's good to have a place to live, which is not has to be big or fancy, but it should be comfortable and a nice place. So you can meditate, you can do your yoga. And so we try to show people a way through the ancient Tibetan wisdom to lead a spiritual life, but also to, at the same time, you can be financially independent, and you can help other people with this independence. So we teach that all over the world. We just got back from Russia and Austria, and before that we were in China. And recently we spoke in the Congress of Mexico, and MIT, we had a program there. And we do this all over the world, and we show people how, by using kindness and using the rule that you get back what you give to others, then you can be financially independent. Even a country can be, also the economy can be better, and the people who live in the country, they don't have to choose between money and spiritual. You can have enough money to be independent and do the projects you want to help people, and then at the same time you can have a deeper life and a life of light. You were just telling me that you would like Greece to be the place where illumination starts, and I was thinking it happened a few thousand years ago, and it all came from Greece. All the modern enlightenment that we have, a lot of it came from Greece, and Alexander the Great reached India, and he studied there, and he was accompanied by Aristotle and some of the students of him. And so there's some very interesting connection between Greece and Tibet, because a lot of our Buddhism comes from that period. Alexander left Greek kings in India for 500 years. And there are beautiful Buddhist sutras about the conversations between the Greek kings and the Buddhist monks. There's one called The Questions of Menander. And it's a very beautiful piece about how we can have a way of life and a government which is led by spirituality, and then still we can be successful in the world at the same time. So really, a lot of it comes from Greece, ancient Greece.
Now a question about the diamond cutter. This is based on an ancient book, isn't it?
Yeah, there was an ancient teaching the Buddha gave 2,500 years ago in a park in India, and I went there. I sat there. It's still there, and he taught a book called the Diamond Cutter Sutra. This is the oldest printed book in the world, and in that book he explains how we can be successful as people in our family life, in our relationships, and successful in our career. And still at the same time, we are doing our spiritual practices every day and meditation and something like yoga. And at the same time, kindness instead of competition is the root of success. So it's a very beautiful idea, I think, for the modern world. I think America has really pushed this idea of competition. There's this Coca-Cola against Pepsi-Cola, and McDonald's against Burger King, and this football kind of competitive mind. And the Buddha, in this Diamond Cutter book, he explains why we can help each other, and that if we make karma by finding people who want things and helping them, then we can be successful in our business. And that's how I grew my business. To reach $250 million. It's just by using this ancient principle of karma, which is that if you want to be successful, you have to find other people and make them successful. And then that plants a seed in your mind. And how that seed is planted in the mind and how you can grow it fast and practical way for modern people to plant these seeds and how those seeds create your life and your world. This is what we're going to be teaching in Athens. This is what the subject of the talks we're going to give there. Because for me, if someone tells me everything's karma, I don't know if I can believe it, because you have to prove it to me, you have to show it to me, and you have to explain it to me in a way that I can use in my life. So we will work on that. There are 4 steps how you plant a seed in your mind, and then how that seed will open into prosperity for your family and for your country. But at the same time, the method makes you spiritual and it makes you peaceful inside. So it's a Buddhist book, but we teach many people who are not Buddhist. We taught in Mexico to Catholics. We taught recently 2,000 people in Malaysia who are all Muslim. And we taught the Communist Party of China. And,
so it's a universal teaching, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't push the religious part, but we just, if you use this concept of helping other people to be successful, then you plant a seed in your mind. And there are special techniques that you can use to open that seed in your mind. And then you see a beautiful world around you and you're much more successful. And you can be successful at the same time as you are spiritual. And we believe actually that's the only way to be successful for a long time, and to sustain success, then we have to make other people successful. How that works inside the mind, that's what we're going to be talking about in Athens, because that's very interesting for everybody. And some of what we talk about will come from this ancient conversation called Menander Panha, which means the questions of King Menander. This is a Greek king who lived in India, and he had many discussions about these subjects, and we still have those books. Those books still exist, and we translated them, and I think they're very interesting. So it'll give us sort of an ancient wisdom to be successful in the modern world and to make our country successful also.
That's wonderful. You're focusing mostly on business and financial success through business, but also on relationships. And if you are kind to tell me a small tip for how we can do a more financial abundance through our business, especially here in Athens, there are a lot of hassle with the business around, you see, but also through our relationship. If you can give me one tip for each part.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've been teaching for 40 years in the world, and I've met many thousands of people. We teach 20,000 people every year. And I think there are 5 goals that people like to have. The first is, I don't need to be wealthy, I don't need to be a big man, but I want to be independent. I want to do all the things I like to do. I don't like to ask somebody for money, or So the first one is financial independence. The second one is a beautiful relationship. The relationship between man and woman is the nicest thing in the world. And to have a nice family, to have a good relationship with your business partners, this is the second goal. Third goal is to have good health, to feel young, have energy all the time. The fourth goal is the inside. We would like to be peaceful inside, and we would like to be happy. Some people are prosperous, but they're not happy. So we try to develop both. And then the last goal of a human being is we would like to help the world. All of us would like to do something to help the whole world. So we work on these 5 goals with our DCI company training. And the first 2 goals, the first one is financial independence. And that means you should have all the money that you would like to have. And you don't have to worry about money. So the tip for that is really something we call the 4 steps. And we'll be talking about it in Athens. But the first step is to decide what you want. So I would like to be financially independent. So I can help people, I can do nice things. Secondly, you have to find someone else who would like to start a business, or someone else who would like to start a career. That's the second step. Third step is you should help them for 1 hour every week. Give up your time. Give them your time for free and help them. And this plants a karma seeds in your mind. And then those seeds may not open for many years. So step 4, it's a special kind of meditation which we will teach in Athens. Everybody can do it. And that's where you think about the seed you planted, you think about the person you helped, and you be happy and wish them, give love to them and give power to them while you're in your meditation at home. And this kind of loving thought or happy thought, this makes the seed grow faster. And then your business will succeed faster. So I tried that in my company. We started with 3 people, a $50,000 loan, and now it's the largest jewelry company in the world. We own jewelry.com. That name cost $21 million. And we only use these principles that we help, even our competitors, we help them. And we serve them, and then we plant seeds. So that's financially, this is a good 4 steps. And then for a partner or for a relationship, it's the same 4 steps. So number 1, you say, I would like to have a beautiful partner, or I would like my partner to change and improve my relationship. The second step is to find someone who's lonely. So I often tell people to find an older person, maybe in a nursing home, who's alone and has no family. And then third step is you visit them once a week for maybe 1 hour and you help them. And this plants a very powerful seed to find a partner or to improve your partner. And then the 4th step is the same. In the evening at home when you're alone, you can do a short meditation where you are happy about how you're helping this old lady. And you're happy about using a new system to find a boyfriend. You're not using online dating, or you're not going to a nightclub. You're helping somebody who is lonely. And this plants a seed, and then the man will come into your life, or the woman will come into your life. And we have many, many success stories. I'm bringing to Greece 3 or 4 of my assistants, and 2 of them use this to find their wife, and they'll be coming with their wife also.
So we have a real example when you come here.
Yeah, real life example. Scott that you just talked to, he found his wife this way. Yeah. And I eat very carefully. I'm vegetarian for about 35 years. Mm-hmm. And I grow a lot of my own food at my house. And I do yoga every day, and I meditate every day. And even in my company, we pay the workers 1 hour of meditation a day and 1 hour of yoga a day. So every worker gets paid for 2 hours of meditation and yoga every day. And I think this makes us very happy and healthy. And we are also going to teach that when we're in Greece. We're going to do there's an ancient meditation and yoga that I was taught in the monastery. And we teach it to business people all over the world. And after doing that for 6 months, they start to change, and they look very healthy and very bright. So we're going to teach that also. That's also part of it. I think What's happening in Greece is, for us in America or other countries, when we look at Greece and we talk to Greece people, then what we see is not just a short-term financial thing or a question about the euro or the question about the German banks, or we see a bigger question going on, which is shall we be spiritual people or shall we be business people, financial people, successful people? Is there a possibility for people to be both? Can we be successful in our life and at the same time can we be very spiritual? And I think if we bring to Greece some ancient teaching, this is 2,000 years old, about how you can be successful, you can have a comfortable life, you can have a good life for your children, a good life for your family, a good life for your parents, you can help other people, and then at the same time that you are successful, you can also have inner peace, inner tranquility, inner like almost a meditation state of mind, a spiritual state of mind. So I think Greece, in Buddhism we say the most beautiful flower, the lotus, grows in the mud. And they say a big problem is the first step to spiritual awakening and to change the way of life in a country. So first we must have a big problem. They say that in Tibetan teaching, that first we must have a very serious problem, and then we will try new options about our life, how to live our life. So in my idea, I agree with you, Sotiris. I think it's a very great opportunity in Greece. Greece people have Sophia, they have wisdom in their blood. It is the source of wisdom for the whole world, and it's natural for Greek people. So I think if we can show that it's possible to be very successful financially and then in your relationships, and at the same time to be a good person, a spiritual person, you don't have to sell your soul to the banks. You know, if we can show some way that you can have both, and that's what we teach, I think people will really enjoy it, and if they use it, many thousands of people have used our system around the world, and they are successful in their life, and at the same time they are peaceful and spiritual inside without having to join some religious group or something like that. It's just the principles that everybody in the world can use, and we're teaching it all over the world. And I think it will be very interesting. And people, I always tell people, just come once and take it home and try it yourself. You don't have to join anything, and see if it works. And it does work. And then you're successful, and inside you feel very peaceful. So that's the goal. And I hope people will come, and I think it's something beautiful that we have to offer. And I think it will be exciting. And it will be exciting for us to be in the country where all the wisdom came from, in the Western world. It's exciting for us to go there.
Well, thank you very much, Geshe Michael, for this enlightened discussion. We really will be very glad to see you here in Greece, and Greece needs your presence here, as well as the whole of the world. These kind of techniques that they get deep inside us and see our possibilities for more prosperity in life and happiness.